just keep striving for success, keep doing the right thing, and things will happen. Like Martin Luther King, that says he had a dream to strive for success and just look for the mountaintop. Really, things operate differently in certain areas, but the main thing and goal is that we reach it at the mountaintop together.
So once again, on behalf of the African American Chamber of Commerce, we would like to take the time to welcome you to the 2016 Empowerment Luncheon. Get all the good signs that you can, okay? All right. I'm Monica May from Star 94.5. And before we go any further, I would like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you for doing one thing for me, and that was giving us a year and a half to come back to reality. All right? We lost our mind for about a year and a half, and we did something that we thought would do different things for Central Florida. That's my phone. Don't worry about it. Don't look. And I usually am the first one to tell you turn off your phone, and there's mine. So I'm going to hand this to you, Big J. Turn it off, please. I trust you. So I do want to say thank you very much for sticking with us and being there to welcome back Tom Joyner. We had a year and a half off. Yeah, you could do that. For a year and a half, we tried something that we thought would bring a different flavor to our city, but we listened to you, and you said, that ain't the flavor we want. Now everybody in this room loves Steve Harvey. We like him more on television, though. We are going into one of the most tumultuous presidential races ever. And I needed Tom Joyner to support what I could bring to you on a local level. And I needed somebody that I could trust, that we all were familiar with. So thank you for allowing me to talk our people into, come on, we got to go back to Tom. We've got to go back to Tom. And Cox Media Group listened, and you all were just so grateful, and you stayed right there with us. So James Williams and myself, we say thank you very much. So again, it's my pleasure to be your host for this afternoon. And as I said, we're going to start on time, and we're going to get you back to your places of employment. If you are on Facebook, or if you're going to do anything live, please, the hashtag today is EmpowerMe2016. So it'll be hashtag EmpowerMe2016. I want to mention something that's very exceptional today. Somebody in this place is going to walk out. I don't know what you drove here in. Doesn't matter to me what you came here in, but I know there's somebody. Somebody, can y'all say somebody? Say, it could be me, is going to go home in a Mercedes-Benz. Yes! So here's how you're going to do that. You're going to look at this registration form. Everybody look, it should be right up by your cup. You're going to flip that pretty puppy over. You're going to fill it out. You're going to put your name and all the information that they're asking you for. We want 2 phone numbers. If that second one needs to be your boo thing's number, do that. If you're going to let them drive. But if it's going to create havoc, don't do it. That's what we want to do. And then we'll have one of our lovely ladies or gentlemen from Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando collect these cards for you. All right? So someone is going to walk away driving, or somebody's going to drive away from here today. Let's do one thing before we go any further, and that is let's stand for our invocation and our prayer. We're welcoming Mr. Eddie Parker, and he is the Commerce Chair-elect and Managing Partner of Parker Realty, and also one of our members of the African American Chamber of Commerce, and he's here today to give us our invocation.
Thank you very much. Let us pray. Almighty God, unto whom all hearts are open, all desires known, and from whom no secrets are hid, cleanse the thoughts of our hearts by the inspiration of thy Holy Spirit, that we may perfectly love thee and worthily magnify thy holy name. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to be here today on this occasion. We thank you for all of your goodness and your mercy. We thank you for recently bringing us through Hurricane Matthew with minimal damage here. But even though we know, Lord, that there were many, we think of our brothers and sisters down in Haiti and the folks in North Carolina that were not so fortunate. But those people in Haiti, Father, that's us. Those people suffering in North Carolina, that's us. But Lord, we recognize that we're all in this together. And even as you spared us, we know that one day that wheel of hurt is going to come rolling around to us. But through it all, we know that you hold us in your tender loving care. And for that, we want to say thank you. We thank you for our speaker, Brother Dorian, today, and him thinking it not robbery to be so generous with his time and his experience to come and share in this occasion of the Empowerment Luncheon of the African American Chamber. We thank you for this chamber, Lord, and the service it provides to this community, the leadership. And we ask that thou would continue to bless this occasion as we continue in this program today. And ask that you would bless the food now that we are about to receive, and the drink. May it be nourishing to our body. In your name we pray. Amen.
Wanted to introduce you to our speaker, Dorian S. Boyland, and one day we'll find out what that S stands for. I don't know if it's going to be today, y'all, but one day. He's been honored so many times in his life, but he can say that each one is very special to him. He's a man who puts his heart behind his brand. Let me say that again. He puts his heart behind his brand. Now, we know him as one of the most successful car dealership owners here in Central Florida, but I need you to know that that same title sits for him in several parts of the United States. The Chicago native is a graduate of South Shore High School and the University of Wisconsin, where he received his BA in business. An accomplished athlete, we know that. Through high school and college in several sports, Dorian went on to play 7 seasons with the Pittsburgh Pirates and went on with them to the World Series championship in 1979. They were the winners. Woo, woo, woo. He wears the ring, yes. Picked by the Pirates in the second round, 49th pick overall in 1976. He was the first African American and the highest draft pick from the state of Wisconsin. Dorian and his sister Brenda were raised by a single mom, and though Miss Alice passed in 1999 after a 2-year battle with cancer, she has remained his one and only role model. Not a politician, not anyone else, but Miss Alice. In fact, he credits all of his accomplishments, his achievements and blessings to his mom. He retired from professional baseball in 1983. And you know what? I had a quick gift, and I'll have to bring that to you. I left it in my car. For anyone who can tell me which team he played his final season with. All right, he started with Pittsburgh Pirates, played for several seasons, and retired in 1983. Not from the Pittsburgh Pirates, though. Anybody, and ain't nobody sitting with you could answer. Not sitting with you, but can't nobody sitting with you. No. No. Yes. I'm sorry? Mets? No, no. Anybody else? No. No. There you go. San Francisco Giants. Give me your card at the end and I will mail you what I left it in my car. I will do that. What's your name? Brenda. Not Brenda. Roll those R's, girl. He retired in 1983 from the San Francisco Giants. 1 week later, he signed on as a salesman with a Portland, Oregon dealership there. He rose up in the ranks quickly. You gotta know he's not gonna sit still. Within 2 years, he was offered a partnership GM deal at a dealership there. From that success, he sold his stock in the company And that's when he purchased his first dealership, and that's in Gresham, Oregon, and he still owns that particular dealership to this day. The rest, as you can say, is history. It's his story. He's going to share it in just a moment. Boyland Auto Group has over 400 employees at 8 dealerships in 5 states today, including one of the most successful Mercedes-Benz dealerships in the country, right here in our neck of the woods. His hobbies, check this out: profits, all right? Golf, profits, travel. You get the story. What's the next one? Amen, yeah. His health and the health of his friends, profits, and the inner circle who loved him from the very beginning when he didn't have anything. He is loyal. I would not say to a fault, but he is very loyal. He's a member of Alpha Phi Alpha and a host of other organizations. I can personally tell you that it's not his business acumen or his sports legacy or the numerous awards that he's received over the years that define him. It's his heart and the fact that he's willing to give back to organizations and his community. I won't embarrass him by sharing his financial worth. That's not important. But I will ask you to stand, though, please, and welcome a good friend, a great example to us, our good friend, and our speaker this afternoon, Mr. Dorian Boyland. Don't forget your cards.
Thank you, sweetie. Wow. Thank you so much for inviting me today. It is so good to see all of you. And as I listen to my friend Monica May provide such an eloquent and generous introduction, I'm sitting there thinking, who in the world is she talking about? So, the question for me that I always ask is, why am I here today? Is it because, like Monica said, that I'm the owner of the Mercedes-Benz dealership at the mall? Or is it because I've given over $1 million to various charities focused on education? Black Enterprise said one year that I was the automobile dealership of the year. But did they know that I was also the most valuable player in my basketball and high school teams, and also being on the honor roll? Orlando Business Journal said that I was the 3rd largest privately owned business in Orlando. Let me say that again. The 3rd largest privately owned business in Orlando. Behind the likes of Westgate and Rosen. But Orlando Business Journal didn't know that I made a commitment to never smoke, drink, or get high. Boyland Auto Group employs over 600 people, and last year we had revenues of over $600 million. That's a $500 million with a B, folks. Monica touched on it. All of those things are important to me, but as Monica said, the most important person in my life was my mom. I do it every time. My mom was my role model. She was the person that I idolized and wanted to be like the most. I feared my mom, but most importantly, I never wanted to disappoint her. And I remember the first and last and only time that I did that. I gotta tell you this story. I was in about 5th grade, and I was on my way home from school, and I found a football in the yard. Like most people, we picking it up, right? Bringing it to the crib. Picked the football up, brought it home, couldn't wait for the next day to take it to the playground to play with my buddies with my newfound football. On the way out the door that Saturday morning after doing my chores, my mom said, "Where'd you find that football?" I said, "I found it in somebody's yard." My mom said, "Boy, if you don't take that football back and take it back where you found it, I'm gonna beat you black and blue." Now I remember the look on my mom's face of utter disappointment, and I said that that would never, ever, ever happen again in life. I miss you, Mom. I love you. So here's my story. My sister and I were born in Chicago to a single mom. We were born in one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in Chicago. If you're here to hear that normal story of an African-American man growing up in the ghetto with no money, fighting drugs and dodging bullets and working his way out of the ghetto through athletic prowess, that's not my story. I was born in Hyde Park, and if you've heard that name, that's where the president and his wife and family live today. When I was in 3rd grade, my mom, I have no idea how this happened. Really, I have no idea how this happened. Moved us to one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in Chicago at the time called South Shore. Our house, right, Red? Our house was a block away from the beach, a block away from the yacht club, 2 blocks away from South Shore Country Club. Golf course, tennis courts, you name it. South Shore was one of the most prestigious and fantastic neighborhoods in Chicago. But the benefit of growing up in South Shore that we were afraid of the availability of going to great schools. O'Keefe Grammar School was one of the best grammar schools in the city, which afforded us to go to South Shore High School. South Shore High School probably at that time was one of the top rated schools in the country for preparing you for college. I believe 98% of our high school went on to college. South Shore, when you went there, you had to sign up with a college counselor that made sure that you applied for at least 5 or 6 different colleges around the country. They even gave us applications to apply for scholarships and grants. After graduating from high school with a 29 on the ACT and being in the top 10 of my class and on the honor roll, and also being the most valuable player on the basketball and baseball teams, my mom was very proud. My friends and I decided to go to the University of Wisconsin. There I played basketball for 2 years and baseball for 3 years and made All-American. Graduated in June on one Sunday, and a couple of days later, the Pirates drafted me in the 2nd round. Also did one of the best things that's ever happened in my life was I played as Alpha. Where we at, Frat? I always say that if I could ever go back to 4 days consecutively of my life, it would be in college. For various reasons, right, fellas? As I said, the Pirates drafted me in the 2nd round, and I was off to play baseball. Played 8.5 seasons with the Pirates, and I'm speeding through that because my career was far less than stellar. In fact, it was probably disappointing to the Pirates, my family, and disappointing to myself. I really didn't like baseball, and that's strange to say. But one thing that happened on the way, playing with the Pirates, we won the World Series in 1979, and I've got the ring on to prove it, so go Pirates. So more importantly, life after baseball. Retired in 1983, started selling cars a couple of days after I retired, worked my way up through the ranks pretty fast, became assistant manager within 2 months, sales manager within a year. In 1985, Ron Tonkin offered partnership to buy a dealership in the Portland area. Invested all the money that I had from my signing bonus. I'm cheap, folks, I'm cheap. Profit, right, Monica? Yeah. So I invested all the money that I had into purchasing 30% of a Dodge store to go operate and run it. Within a year and a half, we turned that store into the best operating Dodge store in the city. Chrysler came to me and said that they wanted me to own my own store. So I sold my stock back to the Tonkins, tripled my investment, and in 1987, I opened up my first 100% owned dealership, which is Gresham Dodge, which I own today. But I got to tell you, the only reason that Chrysler and Ron Tonkin came to me to offer to be a dealer is because that through the efforts of the Jesse Jacksons, NAACP, United Negro College Fund, and all of the other black organizations in the country, they put the pressure on the automobile dealers in the United States to get proper representation. Without that, I would not be here today, so thank you, Jesse. Now, if we're doing math, 1985 is when I was partnership in the first dealership, and then 1987 is when I bought my own store. So that's 30 years, folks. That's over 30 years. So over 30 years, I think I've owned and operated over 25 dealerships in the country with combined revenues of in excess of $10 billion. Pay a lot of taxes. But in 2002, I got the phone call that everybody waits for. Mercedes-Benz called and asked if I wanted to become a Mercedes dealership in Orlando, Florida. I'm like, no, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, I'm out. Some of my fellows here from Milwaukee, I was in Milwaukee at the time running my Honda store, and I said, fellas, I got to go. Y'all can come with me, but I got to go. So in 2004, we completed construction of Mercedes-Benz of South Orlando at the Millenia Mall, and the rest was history. Everybody said, number one, don't go to the mall. And number two, there is no way that you can compete with Mercedes-Benz of Maitland that's been here for 30 years by themselves. But through the grace of God and the support of Orlando, I got to tell you folks, I'm here. So, if you came here to hear my secrets about success in the business world, gotta apologize. There are no secrets. None. Zero. Absolutely none. But I will share a few of them with you, the things that I really focus on. Cash. Cash is king. The lack of cash is the number one reason that small businesses in the United States fail. Sometimes it's not lack of business. It's because you're trying to increase your business. If you need to buy more inventory or hire more employees and pay more taxes and you're out of cash, you're out of business. Monica said it best. My 100% focus and total on business success is profit. If you're not in business to make a profit, get out. Then you got a hobby. You just got a job. As some of my employees and my partner and general manager down there, Ruben, will tell you, what do we talk about every day, Ruben?
Gross profit.
Sorry, folks, we need to make some money. But my commitment is everybody that we know or that comes in to see us, we will take care of you, honestly, better than anybody else. Another thing that I just have to do and say is that we don't do often in small business is we don't surround ourselves with professional help. I am smart enough to know the things that I don't know. I have what I consider great attorneys, great bankers, great CPAs, great financial advisors. So one of the things that you have to do in this business is surround yourself so that you can get advice from them. Another thing that my friends and employees know that I'm just crazy about is you need to control the things that you can control. I don't care what Maitland's doing. I don't even care what the dealerships next door are doing. In fact, when Mercedes-Benz sends me the rankings to see how we've done for the month, I never look at them. Because all I care about is what Ruben and I and our employees can control. Other than that, it doesn't make sense to worry about it. So control the things that you can control. Last, but probably the most important in my life in operating a business, is do all the right things. Just do all the right things. Don't lie, cheat, steal. Pay your bills on time, pay your taxes, sign up with all of the entities that you need to sign up with. Just do the right thing. Because you can rest assured, if you don't, they are coming to get you, especially in this business. Let me share a few of the pitfalls with you. It's not all roses all the time. The automobile industry has probably the worst reputation of any business in the United States. And I'm still amazed that I'm still in it. Some days I just hate what happens on a day-to-day basis. And I truly, truly apologize to all of you that have dealt with not just us, but any other dealership in the country that have not treated you with the respect and dignity that you deserve. My commitment was and has been that I was going to try to change that at all of the operations and dealerships that I run. My employees will tell you, if we are wrong, we're wrong. If it's a gray area, we're still wrong. But if we're right, we're right. Right, Ruben? Also, another thing that kind of bothered me when I hit town, not as much today. When I hit town in 2004, I think it shook the earth, Orlando at least. I was called drug dealer. It was predicted that I wouldn't last. They said I was just another Orlando dumb jock. They said that I didn't own the dealership, that I was just a figurehead. They said that I was even laundering money. But here's one for you. It was said that I was an Uncle Tom and a racist at the same time. Now go figure that out. But I understand. I didn't understand then. I understand it's rare for a black person to own a dealership in this country, let alone a Mercedes dealership in Orlando. There are over 19,000 dealerships in the United States, of which only 265 are owned and operated by blacks. Now, if you're doing the quick math, that's a little bit over 1%. So, folks, after speaking with you today, I now know why I'm here. It's solely and only because of you. I believe that this is my calling and responsibility to carry the torch for all of you and to represent all of us in a manner that will make you proud and to help pave the way for an easier life for all of us. So the next time that I'm faced with things like going to the airport, flying in first class, and they asked me, did I know that this was the first class line? Going into the dealership one day, and the Florida sales auditor was there with police saying that I hadn't paid my sales taxes for 6 months and they were going to take me to jail, which was false. The next time that I'm racially profiled driving down the street, which has happened 6 times. The next time that I go to the bank to get my money out and the teller tells me I don't have enough ID to get my money, and they knew. The next time I go to pick up my car at valet parking at Millenia Mall, and I'm waiting for my car and someone pulls up and throws me their keys. Now listen to this one. My friends will tell you, the next time that I show up at the private airport to get on my private plane and a substitute co-pilot asks me, what am I doing here? Remember that? Wow. I promise, when those events happen, I promise to smile and be a shining example and ambassador that you all deserve. So let me close today by saying, like many of you, I am black living in America that experiences racism every day. But I also know that it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, or how much money you have. Martin Luther King said many, many years ago that we will not wallow in the valley of despair, but dream to reach the promised land. So African American, Chamber of Commerce, members and guests, let's start living the American dream so that we can all get to the promised land. Thank you. I love you.
I also want to remind you to please submit your nominations for the Eagle Awards. You have to go online to do that at blackcommerce.org/Eagle Awards, and that's for details. On the back of the flyer that's in your chair gives you more information about the awards that we have coming up. So that's January 14th, 2017. So make sure you look at that. Right now, we're going to bring the chairman of the board of directors to the stage, Mr. John Beecham of Redbud Landscaping. Join me, please, as we recognize this year's sponsors of the Empowerment Luncheon. How are you? Good. Do you?
Yeah, we can do that.
You need a holder? I can get that for you.
No, I don't need one.
You got it?
Good afternoon. My name is John Beecham, and I'm the 2016 Board Chair at African American Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to say a couple of things real quick. At the Chamber, we know diversity is a footprint to economic and community success. At the Chamber, what we believe is that real success is creating successors. So we can do the awards now. We're just going to do BB&T first. Okay, gold sponsor is BB&T. BB&T by its employees have said that it's the best bank in town, and BB&T has been around since 1872. Mr. Chris Raleigh, please come up.
I gotta follow Dorian. I'll tell you real quick, I've been with BB&T my whole career, and I think when you hear someone like Dorian speak, it really motivates you no matter where you're at and no matter your circumstance. So if I can just say real quick, thanks again, Dorian, for coming. If we give one more round of applause to Dorian.
And next is our gold sponsor. In this Florida hospital, where they say, skill to heal and the spirit to care. Someone from Florida Hospital, please.
We consider it a privilege. We consider it a privilege to be a part of this great experience. Sir, I want to thank you. Where are you? Oh, here you are. I want to thank you so very much for your honesty and your commitment to good. Our mission statement is to extend the healing ministry of Christ, and you have demonstrated that. Thank you very much.
And next, I'd like to recognize just some of our sponsors. We have the Herzing College as a bronze sponsor, silver sponsor, and at Herzing they say, I'm possible. Walt Disney World is when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desire can come to you.
Now you gotta sing it.
When you wish upon a star. Our next level of sponsors are bronze sponsors, and it's Orlando Health, where they meet expectations. Our next one is Orlando Magic, and you know Orlando Magic is pure magic. Our next sponsor is OUC, and OUC is what? The reliable one. Our next sponsor is UCF, and what does that mean? You can finish. No, actually I mean, go night, charge on. Monica. Thank you very much.
Yes. JD, why don't you come forward? And I know that you have some last minute comments, but this is our director here, our president, and if you would please put your hands together. John F. Davis. And if you don't mind, what I'm going to do is thank you all for having me as your host this afternoon. I really appreciate you for having me. Did I do okay?
You did great.
I did good?
We love you.
All right. James, follow up on some stuff. I got some cards here for you. I am on my way to go do a walkthrough for our next Take a Loved One to the Doctor Day. It's back here in Orlando. We did 2 this year. I'm very proud to say that hundreds have been served by this. I'm also proud to say that even when we were doing Steve Harvey, I still did Take a Loved One to the Doctor Day. So this one is October 22nd, and they're waiting for me to just walk through. It's at the Pine Hills YMCA. Please join me. Yes, sir. And we also have my Star Cares partner right here with us. If you will please stand for a moment. There are 2 people, and Dorian was the first person to believe in me. I was not hired to host Tom Joyner's show. I was hired to develop their brand, which was the Star Cares effort. I took it to Dorian. Doe gave me a few minutes, and I convinced him. And man, we rode that bus for a long time, and I thank you so much for being my very first sponsor to really believe in what I was here to do. So thank you. And the next person was our brother right here, Attorney Greg Francis of Morgan & Morgan. Thank you. Stand for a moment. And if AC were here from Ahoy Federal Credit Union, he would be my 3rd person. So thank you all for believing in what the mission was that I was appointed to, I was assigned. That mission is almost over. I still love what I'm doing, but I'm worn out, y'all. So thank you very much for having me as your host. I'm gonna head to my next thing. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, God bless you.
All right, I'm going to, I'm going to do the closing here. First of all, I just really want to thank Dorian for being here, for being our keynote speaker today. And again, I just want to thank everyone for being here today. Without you all being here and the support that you all give us here at the Chamber, whether it be small business, whether it be a corporate partner, or just individuals here and leaders in this community, none of this would be possible. I'm fortunate to be able to serve as the president of this chamber, and as my board often sometimes hear me say, this is not my chamber, it's not their chamber, it's the community chamber. And the work that we do here and the direction in which we're heading is because of you all. And I'm very fortunate, and I want to thank my board of directors for the direction that they've given this chamber, and for giving me and my team the opportunity to be able to carry out the plan and the work that needs to be done. This Empowerment Luncheon is one component of it. And you know, I've known Dorian for a long time, and you know, he is an alpha, but you know, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. You know, that's all about. We got them brothers in the house. So I just want to thank you all again just for being here. And we have our urban entrepreneur roundtable that's going to be taking place in November. It's going to be during the Classic Weekend on that Thursday, and you all will be receiving information on that. And we're looking forward to having another dynamic event. And you all, that panel is going to be a pretty dynamic panel, and you all will be receiving information on that pretty soon. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, the Eagle Awards, will be taking place in January. And it was mentioned, Monica mentioned earlier, but it is very, very important for any and everyone that owns a business to make sure, whether it's a small business or a large business, to make sure that you visit our website and you register and you go on and you do the work that needs to be done as far as filling out the application. It is important, and if you need any help with that, do not hesitate to give us a call just to kind of talk about the things that needs to be done. Because we have a committee that's in place, and you know, there are some businesses that are doing great things. But it's incumbent upon you to be able to represent what the work that you're doing, whether it's on paper, and I know lots of time that marketing can be very important. So those individuals that are part of that committee, they see what they see at the time. And I know that there are some companies from the past Eagle Awards that are doing great things, but we got to make sure that you all do your part. And again, before we close out here, Mr. Boyland, you're the man. We really appreciate this, man. Good afternoon. This is John Davis. I'm the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce here in Central Florida. We just completed our Empowerment Luncheon for 2016. We had our featured speaker, Mr. Dorian Boyland, who is the president and CEO of Boyland Auto Group, as well as the current CEO of the Mercedes-Benz dealership here in South Orlando. This is an opportunity for us here at the Chamber to be able to give our members as well as communities, the community here, an opportunity to be able to hear from a successful individual such as Mr. Boyland and to understand his journey to success. And this year's theme focused around the drive to succeed. And he knocked it out of the park today. He gave us the opportunity and some insight on the things that he has been able to do to be able to accomplish the things he's accomplished in his life. And we're looking forward to our 2017 Empowerment Luncheon and to be able to announce who that individual will be. Again, we just want to thank all of our sponsors and the individuals who made this event possible today here at our Empowerment Luncheon. Thank you.